All right, welcome to our August 2017 webinar. Today we will be reviewing the Healthcare Compliance Pros website, focusing on some frequently used management functions that help keep your compliance program accurate and up to date. We will be paying special attention to the employee profile management, policy and procedure customization, and the reminders hub. My name is Misty Sudbury, and I will be hosting this month's webinar. This presentation is being recorded and will be published next week in our Insider newsletter, and you can access this webinar as well as any others that HCP has hosted by visiting the News and Events section of our website. If you have questions during the webinar, please post them using the GoToWebinar dashboard, and we will try to address all of the questions that come through, but if we are not able to get to something, we will follow up via email this afternoon. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, today we are going to be talking about some frequently used management functions. Within HCP, there are 3 different levels of administrators. We have account administrators who manage or have access to manage all aspects of the program. Office administrators that may just have access to one department or one location. And then we have supervisors who just have access to overseeing certain groups of employees within an office or department. Today we're going to be looking at things mostly from an account administrator viewpoint. If we have enough time, we may look at the office admin and supervisor levels, but to begin, we're just going to be looking at managing things from the account level. So the first thing is when you log in as an account administrator, you see that you have My Accounts, and then you have My Offices. Some of you may only have one office, and that's just fine. Others have divided up their account by department, division, location, things like that. And so they would see multiple offices. So today we're going to be working over here under My Accounts. You'll see if I open that, it takes us to our dashboard. The first thing I want to talk about is managing your employees, adding employees, removing employees, keeping their profiles and training assignments accurate. Those are all very important parts of this program. It's important for your billing, to keep your billing accurate, that you are removing employees as they're terminated. It's important for your training records, that everyone is assigned the correct training and that their emails are correct. So those are some very important things. And to manage your employees, you will select the Employees tab. You'll see a list of your existing employees already in here. If you need, the first thing we're going to talk about is adding an employee. If you have a new hire and you need to create a profile for them, you're going to select Create Employee. And from here, you will just enter the information for your employee, their email address. You will select which office this employee's profile is going to be housed under. So if this is a member of your clinical staff, that's where you would place them. One thing I didn't mention on email address that is very important is that we cannot share email addresses. So each employee needs to have their own email because that is their individualized login. So it's really important that everyone has their own. If we share email addresses, your training records will be inaccurate, training history will be inaccurate, and only one employee will be getting the information regarding their training. All right, so we've placed their email address, placed them in the location they are in. You can enter all of their other information. If we're monitoring the OIG list for you, we do need a date of birth. We enter a default password, give them their access level, and then create the user. And this will create their profile for you. Now from here, you need to assign training and manage their profile. And you can do this for any employee that is already in your system. Again, working from the Employees tab, you would just select the employee. You could update their email address, add their date of birth, save that information. You can also click right here on their office and you can update their access level, assign somebody as their supervisor, input a job title, hire date, termination date if they've been terminated, and then you can also select a date where their training will be assigned to them. You'll want to make sure to save after making any changes. As you can see, you have a big red button here to remove the user from all offices. This is where you would go if you have a termed employee and you need to remove them from your active roster. Very important that you do this as it keeps your billing accurate and ensures that you're not getting reports on an employee that is no longer working for you. To edit training assignments, you would select current training and then edit courses. And this is where you can add and remove training assignments. So if I want to assign this employee the HIPAA courses, I would just click the plus signs and that will assign them. Refreshing the screen will give me the option to invite the employee to take their training. So this would send an automatic training invitation with a hyperlink for them to log in. You can also transfer your employees from one location to another, and there's instructions to do that here. But essentially, if someone moves from your clinical staff and now they are in the billing department, you can transfer them, transfer their training records, and then remove them from the clinical staff department. So again, those instructions are here, and that's a capability you have as an account administrator. You can also give an employee office administrator access if they're going to be managing a particular location or department. You can give them access just to that office and they would be able to then complete the tasks that you've assigned to them. So again, for profile management at the account level, Employees tab. To create an employee, you'll use the Create Employee button. To manage employees that are already existing, you just click on their name and that opens up your options for managing employees. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is our Reminders Hub. The Reminders Hub is a very useful tool, and it not only helps your employees know what training they have due when they become, each year annually when they become due again, but you can also use your Reminders Hub to create custom reminders for people within your group who need to complete different compliance tasks. You can set up reminders if you're having a company movie night and you would like to notify everybody. You can set up a reminder for that to go out through our Reminders Hub and decide which employees or send it to all employees from here. So what I want to show you is how to make sure that your Reminders Hub is being utilized in the way that it's intended. We have a lot of clients who get everything set up and then for some reason or another, their employees don't know that they have training due. And that usually falls under the Reminders Hub and something is not set up correctly. So you can come in here to your Reminders Hub. Again, I clicked on Courses and then Reminders Hub. Select which location or office you're working in, and then Training Repeat Reminders. And this is where you can select how frequently your employees will receive invitations or reminders to take their training. It's important to note that reminders will not be sent out if training is complete. So if you assign somebody their HIPAA training and you set these reminders to go out on a weekly basis, They will only receive reminders until they complete their training. If they complete it the first week, they won't get a reminder again for 12 months. But then the system will automatically begin sending out those invitations again 12 months from the date they completed the training. So we recommend at HCP that you set these reminders to at least a monthly frequency. Depending on how quickly you want everyone to complete their training, you may want to do more frequent than that. But monthly is really the furthest out that we recommend you go. Now, your administrators as well as your supervisors can also receive emails, and these emails are called our Office Admin Training Report or Office Supervisor Training Report. These look like, let me find one, I apologize. This is what this email looks like. It goes out to your administrators on the frequency you choose. It lets them know which employees that they are responsible for have outstanding training that has not been completed. So again, we recommend that these be set to at least a monthly frequency so that as supervisors and administrators, you are well aware of which employees you have that still need to complete their training. And again, you do this, we're under the Courses tab, Reminders Hub, and you do this within each office. You can set the frequency for these reminders. You can also select which employees receive them. So if you have multiple administrators, but only one of them needs to see this email on a monthly basis, you can enable user filtering and select which employee receives that report each month. And then finally, we want to discuss custom reminders. As I mentioned, you can set up reminders for everything from a company-wide movie night or a summer party to compliance tasks that need to be completed. These work very similar to the training reminders. We have some default custom reminders that are in here for compliance tasks that should be completed. And then you can also create your own. So you could come in here, create a new custom reminder titled, Summer Barbecue. You can choose who receives that. If you wanted to send it to all employees, you can just leave that blank and it will by default go to everybody. Customize the content of the reminder and save it, and then choose how frequently you want it to go out and what date. And that's how you can utilize these custom reminders to really fit your needs and keep your staff informed of information that is important for them to know. You can use these for memos, events, again, compliance tasks. There's really no limit to what you can do with the Reminders Hub. And then the final thing that I want to talk to you about is your policies and procedures. Customizing your policies and procedures, keeping them up to date and accurate, and ensuring that the training your staff is receiving is correct. Anytime you have a change in your practice, whether it's a change in a compliance officer or a committee member, a change in policy, you want to come in here and make sure that your training is accurate and that the slides have been updated to reflect those changes. So I'm still on the Courses tab, and I'm on the Modules sub-tab. Here you notice these modules for this demo account have red setup next to them. And that means that these modules have not been completely set up. They're not ready to be trained on. They include all of the required policies and procedures, but they don't have some customized information that's necessary in order to be fully compliant. So if I click on this red setup, it will take me through a wizard letting me know exactly what information I need to update here. So here you could put in your contact information. You can choose to change the font color or make it bold and save the settings. And then that will automatically go into those slides. That information will be placed into the slide for you so that when your staff completes their training, they're getting not only the required policies and procedures, but also information specific to your practice. Now, if you had a change in an administrator and needed to come in and edit that information, you would simply go again to your account level, the courses tab, the modules tab, and select which course you need to edit. When you open that course, it will pull up the slide deck. You can easily identify slides that have customization by the green check mark. So you would just open that slide, review the content here in the text box, edit it as needed, and save it, and that will update your slide. We want you to know that you can customize these training modules, these policies and procedures, as much as you would like. Our system is designed to allow you to add content to any slide. You can hide slides, particularly in our HR module. If there's slides that do not pertain to you, you can hide slides by selecting the Hide Slide button. And you can also create your own slides. So if you have, let's say you have a tattoo or piercings policy, you can come in here and select New Slide. Give your slide a title, and that will allow you to create any information you want. If you have a video, if you have a link to a document, a PDF document, there's really no limit to what you can do on creating your own customized slides. So you would do all of that here in the Content tab. The Settings tab allows you to make it a quiz question or add some extended content. You can select where you would like the slide to fall within the training. You know, many different things you can adjust here on the settings, the font, the background, and then of course video. You can add videos, media for images, things like that. So we want you to know that you can really make these slides your own. You can customize them, add to them. Again, if you have a slide that does not pertain to you, for example, down here at the bottom, maybe you don't offer educational assistance, you can certainly come in and hide that slide. And then when your employees take the training, they will not even see that slide. Now, we get asked a lot, how can I edit the content of a slide, the existing content of a slide? For example, on this particular slide, it says Human Resources Officer or Manager. And we get asked quite often, you know, maybe you call them a Human Resources Director, and can we change the core content of this slide? And so I wanted to take a quick moment to explain why that's not something we frequently do. These courses, particularly the core compliance, the HIPAA courses, the OSHA, corporate compliance, the language comes directly from the federal agencies that are in charge of those areas of compliance. And we do not want to have a lot of editing done to that content because it could make it so that you are not in compliance. Sometimes there's just simple sentences and words that are required to be there, and if they're removed, then you would not be compliant. So we want to customize these trainings to fit your needs. We want them to be specific to your practice, and we want you to be happy with the content that your employees are seeing. And we will help you with that. We have step-by-step instructions on how to add to these slides, how to edit the slides, how to hide the slides. And then if there are situations where you need to make additional adjustments, we encourage you to talk to your representative about those changes. But I did want to address that because it's a question we get all the time. Why can't I change the core content of the slide? And that is why. We want you to be compliant. Our job at HCP is to ensure that you are being trained, that your employees are being trained on the federal regulations for OSHA, HIPAA, and corporate compliance. And in order to do that, we do have to have some limits on what can be edited. But please know that we will work with you. Your representative is available to help you with any editing that you need. They can help teach you how to edit the program and give you different solutions to make sure that everything meets your needs. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go back here to the home page and see if we have any questions. Looks like there's a question on reinstating a terminated employee. And that's a great question. That's a question that we do get quite often. Somebody maybe was on a leave of absence, didn't know if they were going to come back, or someone was terminated and came back in the future. Can you reinstate that employee so that their training history and information is just reactivated? And the answer is yes. So to do that, I'm going to go to back to the account level. But instead of going to the Employee tab, we'll go to the Reporting tab. And from here, you would go to the Deleted tab. Once you are on the Deleted tab, you would select the employee who has returned to your practice. And then from there, you would transfer them back into an office. The step-by-step instructions are here. So once you get here, you can transfer them back into an office, and then they would be listed on your active employee roster. Their training will be there. If they've trained within the last 12 months, that training history will still be there. If they haven't, then they would begin receiving the training invitations according to your reminders hub. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the GoToWebinar dashboard. If you have a question that comes up later, you certainly can reach out to your representative or to our support team, and we will gladly get an answer for you. As I mentioned, we do have step-by-step instructional documents that outline all of the things we talked about today, and you can find these in your technical support. So under your settings tab, there's a technical support tab, and there are a variety of documents here that outline step-by-step instructions on managing your employees, editing your training modules, customizing your policies and procedures, transferring users between offices. Check back here frequently. We are continually updating these documents and adding additional forms here. So this is a great place to look if you are needing some support on managing your program. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hop back to our slideshow here. We host these webinars the second Thursday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Our next webinar will be September 14th, the second Thursday in September, and that will be announcing some new refresher training for our corporate compliance course, as well as reiterating some of the requirements with CMS, corporate compliance training, who needs to train on which specific topics within corporate compliance and fraud, waste, and abuse. And then again, our refresher trainings will be available at that time or shortly thereafter. So we hope that you'll join us for that. And again, if you have questions, please reach out to your representative or to support@hcp.md, and we will be sure to get you taken care of. Thanks again for taking time out of your day to join us today, and we hope to hear from you again next month. Thank you.